She had her first 4-figure day one of the challenge. She had her first 5-figure month when she signed up to CFA. She had her first 6-figure launch now, and I know she's gonna have a 7-figure year before we finish CFA. Tell them what God told you about 5, 6, 7 before we go.
100K in 2 weeks. Is it possible? Of course it is. Today you're going to find out how. I'm sharing the story of my client, Taushauna Burrel, how she has gone from literally struggling to make ends meet to building a 6-figure business in a very short space of time. Stay tuned to listen because it really will blow your mind. If you are new to me, I am Buki, and I am a business growth mentor strategist helping Kingdom women to build 6-figure coaching businesses online and do it in an unapologetic way, glorifying God and really making more impact on the earth. If you would like what you hear, like what you're listening to, make sure you comment below, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the videos that we release every single week. Without further ado, you can listen in to her testimony.
Righty. Hey, people. How are we doing? Here she is. Here she is. If you're coming watching live, come and say hi. So, guys, I've been talking about Tashana for a while. So I want to just make sure I bring her in here and we have a chat. More just about what the Lord is really doing in our midst. And I feel like the season of abundance, right? So I'm really excited to bring Tashana on here because of the season of abundance that we're in with God and the acceleration that He is allowing us to experience as being His children, right? So I'm really excited. So Tashana, hi.
Hello.
Introduce yourself to everybody and let them know what you do and who you are, and let's have a conversation.
Yes. So, hi, everybody. Abundance Now with Buki. Okay. I am Taushauna Burrel. I am the founder and executive writing coach at 120 Publishing. I am affectionately known as the manuscript midwife and your prayed up publisher, and I am assigned to help you birth the book that's going to send you to the nations. Okay? And all of you guys in this program are probably my ideal clients.
Exactly. So before Tashana came to the Abundance Now challenge, the day before that day, and I'll put it in the email out there to everybody. Hi, Lisa, how are you doing? Right before that, right? You tell them. Before that, you tell them what was happening. What was your story? Where were you before you had even seen my bundle? Before you had bought it? Before you had come into this? But what was your story? Tell the ladies about what was going on. Let's hear it.
Yeah. So God had been preparing me for partnership with Buki since I gave him a real surrender and a real yes. And that was, I believe, in October of 2022, because I have for 5 years been toiling in the space of coaching. And I tried to be a purpose coach. I tried to be the money coach. I tried to use all of the gifts that I had and the talents that I had and just put coach behind it. I could have been a having 5 kids babies coach, but I was toiling. I got tired. I got tired of listening to all the gurus. And it was at a point where I was like, I'm just going to put this business thing down, God. And because I didn't know how to price the strategy. And when I would try to do and get what I could afford to do, they wouldn't give you all of the information. So I was frustrated with the industry. And the Lord was like, go on a fast. And not just any fast, it was an Esther fast. And at the time, I gave him a quick yes. And I hadn't studied Esther. I talked about this in the last video. I hadn't studied Esther, so I didn't know she didn't eat for 3 days or drink water. And it was tight. It was tight. But then after that fast, he released the assignment and he says, I'm putting you on assignment to amplify the voices of kingdom moms in ministry and in the marketplace. You're going to use their voices and you're going to send them through premium media outlets. And I didn't know what that was, but I was excited. I was like, all right, God. And then fast forward 3 months later, my husband and I, we were wrongfully displaced from our home. Our HOA was getting reports and they were showing pictures of our house, but it was a different address. So we actually got displaced from our home. We were homeless. At the same time we were homeless, God was like, start the business, create community. So I had created this free community where I would go in and I was just praying. He said, all I want you to focus on is writing and speaking life into these women. And I would do that. And I would be in my car praying, doing prayer calls and talking. Then he said, start the business. I didn't have enough to start an LLC. And then I did. So it was like, okay, do we put gas in the car or do we start this LLC? Well, okay, let's go ahead and start the LLC. And then the rest from there, I started to get clients here and there and building myself back up. But I was still praying every morning at 6 a.m. with the group I had. And I was still writing the books God told me to write. When I came across you, Buki, I had been seeing your ads. And I saw one of the ads that said coaching bundle. And I was like, well, God, you don't have me really coaching yet. I'm working with people and helping them get their books out. And I got this company, but I mean, I'm not trying to coach them yet. But I saw your ad again and I was like, Kingdompreneur? I say that. Wait a minute. And then I was like, well, let me just get this for later. I'm going to get this bundle for later. And I got caught up in Buki's world, y'all. And I didn't know. And I'm like, hold on. She be talking about principles like I feel like she my long lost sister. Jesus, like I got to get in this woman's presence. So at the time, I'm still I'm helping people. I'm ghostwriting. I'm charging. I wrote a whole book for somebody, like 30,000 words. And my response was, give me $400. Like, I'm just off the top. Like, I'm looking at not my business. I'm looking at my bills. I'm like, well, yeah, I can go ahead. Give me $400 for that. Like, I'm pushing books like they was at the dollar store, like you get a book, you get a book. Like, so I'm getting it caught up in your world. I'm going through your YouTube channels and I'm like, Jesus, this is good. And you fool around and have a challenge in July. And before you came up with the challenge, it was such an anticipation that it was like, I don't care, whatever it is, I'm going to do it. Whatever it is, I'm going to do it. And when you announced the abundance now, I think we can probably go back in the group. I was like, I'm there. It's a shift on here. I feel it. And I felt it. Amen. And God was just like, this is somebody you're supposed to partner with. So I was excited for that. The first, leading up into the challenge, I was listening to God and he was like, I want you to write everything that you need financially. And then I want you to write a story about everything that you want, the lifestyle that you want. And so we had, at that time, we had came out of homelessness. We had gotten to the house that I'm in now. And I was just like, Lord, I just know that you can. So I'm just grateful. But he said, no, I want you to really go there and write down the expenses. And then the very first day of the challenge, that was the assignment. And I was like, okay, God, you really, really shifted here. And I'm like, you really shifted. And I had come into such agreement and I had already postured in my heart, whatever it is that she tells me, I know that God sent me to you. So I'm going to submit to it. So even though I had did it the night before, I did it again because that's what you asked us to do. And before the end of the day, I had a friend of mine who I thought had already had books. She reached out to me. She was my ideal client, like you told us. And she was like, God told me that you the person to write my book. Help me write my book. And I was like, okay. And God literally released okay, the cost of your services is $2,300. And for me, that was a stretch. Yeah. But I was like, okay, it's $2,300. She was like, okay. I was like, 2300. And then y'all, after she sent that money,
you hear what I said, girl,
she sent that money. I got right in Buki's inbox. I was like, abundance down with Buki. I just had my first 4-figure day. She was my first 4-figure client, let alone she sent the money the same day. I was like,
hey, in full.
I was like, rent, what? Huh?
So that was your first 4-figure client, first 4-figure day on day 1 of the challenge. Okay, we're listening. You tell it.
So I got excited, y'all. Okay, I got excited about the 2,300. I was like, Lord, no. So then I'm working through the challenges. I'm doing what we're supposed to do in the challenge, and I'm getting my ideal people out. We go to market research day. This is game changer. I don't do business the same anymore. Everything is a conversation. Everything is market research to me. And my sales calls are not sales calls. They feel good, right? Yeah. We have conversations. The market research, if you have not done it, you need to make sure you do it. It was the game changer because now I'm totally submitted to what Buki is saying, but at the same time, I'm totally surrendered to what God is doing. And so I came to the process, and sometimes I just got to put this caveat out there. Sometimes when we are coaches and we've done the things and we've gone through the things, it's like, I don't really have to do that. But I'm telling you, if you are here because she is a destiny connector. And when God gives you destiny connectors and helpers, it's not really your role to be like, oh, I know what that is. God is like, I just want to see. It's a test of your submission. It's a test of whether or not you will submit to authorities that he has placed over you in the seasons, because they have an anointing that maybe you haven't been operating in. And so if you know all the know, but you don't got all the receipts, then you might need to submit. So I submit to the process. I'm like, okay, yeah, market research. I kind of did that before, but okay, let me see how Buki do it. So I get into the market research, and she's like, know your demographics, ask God. And so I'm asking God, where are my people located? No joke, y'all. It's like Houston, Chicago. He told me some people in London, this, that, and the third, like all these different locations. And I'm like, okay, God. Every person that I reached out to for the market research, it's almost like God just wanted to show me, like, if you just trust me, I will lead you. He was shifting because I say this all the time. I used to say that Jesus was my CEO, but he really was just a board member. Yeah. He really was just somebody where I went to, like, okay, thank you, God, I got it from here. I would get strategy and still try to do it my way. And I was in the way. So it was literally like, when we talk about the shift that happened, the real shift was me learning how to let him lead the business. I tell people now, I'm an employee. 120 Publishing, it's not mine. Whatever he tell me to do, however, I know you got your rules and what you want to say, and I know we're supposed to do it this way, but I'm gonna do it his way.
Hey guys, quickly interrupting this episode just to let you know that the next Abundance Now challenge is around the corner. Now, if you've never experienced it before and you are a coach, a consultant, or a service provider, you want to be on this challenge. It will teach you how to attract dream clients in abundance and how I generate leads, qualified leads, on autopilot and generate cash every single day in my business as a result of the systems I'll be teaching you. You'll also learn how to partner with God to attract abundance in your life and in your business, and how you can stand out from the crowd in this market so you will be the sought after expert that you are hoping to become. It is a 5-day experience filled with expertise, biblical insights, and community that's going to help you to thrive in your business. So if you haven't yet been there, you haven't yet come on board, check it out on the link below. It is me.bukiakoa.com/abundance now challenge. If you're ready for the abundance, come and join. Now back to the video.
If you sign everybody, so she's definitely have 96,000 in the bag. And if you sign everyone, the last two we talked about, it'd be 108,000, 439,000 in 2.5 weeks. Are you hearing? Plus the 12,000 you've done already. The 12,000, that's 120,000 in the space of less than 16 weeks. 120,000.
I told y'all she do that math. Lord have mercy. I be looking like, what she talking about? She talking about me? Jesus. My husband was like, why haven't you met Buki sooner? Like, when I got that $5,000 day, he was like, why haven't you met her sooner? And so now he just looked like, I like, babe, well, look, guess what me and Buki did? Buki, like, it's always a but. That's the thing that really comes in my head, y'all. I'm telling y'all, every time something big happens, I'll be like, abundance now with Buki.
Abundance now is working. And
It
I'm
was the
honestly,
shift. It was
I'm,
the shift. I'll never forget. I am.
I'm humbled because I told you guys that God gave me he told me to change the name of the challenge in that July. That July challenge was the first time we had abundance now. So in all of our fun and our laughing and our talking here, God is doing something, and it's not just for Tashana. He's doing something. He's opening the gates. He wants to demonstrate his abundance to his daughters in this space. He's doing it for those that would have an ear to hear and who are ready, and those that he has called to this space. Because not everybody is called to CFA. If you're called to it, then he's calling you to this space, and this is your time to experience his abundance. It's no more scraping, no more lack, no more scratching. To find out where things are. It's a new season of inflow, of overflow. Like literally, that's why I keep talking about astronomy, because I'm like bigger than 16 weeks. I'm like, in 2 weeks. I'm like, what? It's exciting because God said like he's accelerating the work of our hands, our hands, our hands. Our hands, not just yours, Tashana, not just mine, but anybody that will want to surrender to God and do it his way. He is accelerating the work of our hands for his glory, for his kingdom. It's just like, listen, I have to put this in before we go, because listen, she had her first 4-figure day one of the challenge. She had her first 5-figure month when she signed up to CFA. She had her first 6-figure launch now, and I know she's gonna have a 7-figure year before we finish CFA. Tell them what God told you about 5, 6, 7 before we done. I'm like, I'm done. This is God doing the work, y'all. Come on.
It's so prophetic. Like, it's so prophetic. The night before the challenge, I did the money story, and what I needed based on the life that I felt like I wanted to have. I was like, okay, I need $567,000 a year to live that lifestyle. That's my money story, right? So I get on my first prayer call with Abundance Now with Buki. I get on my first prayer call, say like last week, I think. And, she's like, this word is going forth, and she gives us time to write. She's like, I just feel like God is going to just speak what he wants to do for you this time next year. And so we are journaling and we are writing out what God is speaking. And so he told me everything that I'm doing right now is scalable, and it can be sold separately at premium, because I do a done for you service publishing suite. And so it could be sold separately at a premium. And he says that this time next year, you'll be doing $567,000 quarters. He says, if I can do 104,000 in 5 days, what can I do in your quarters? And I'm like, why? I'm thinking like, what is the significance of $567,000 a quarter, Lord? And then I was reminded, he said, go back to your money story. I went back and I was like, God, so you telling me what I asked you to do in a year, you'll do in a quarter of a year. I'm just surrendered to that. I'm just crazy enough to believe that. How he does it, when he does it, what quarter it happens, it's not my business. But I just attribute everything to, yes, I'm surrendered to God. Yes, I've paid for this with ridiculous sacrifice, but I learned how to discern the right partners. And I learned how to lean on God. And when you have a vision that is very big, you cannot do it by yourself. If you can do it alone, then it's not God. But he will bring people, and I'm really not trying to cry or preach, but the posture of Buki and her understanding of, I know she's at the feet of God, because the now, when she changed it, it ushered in the urgency. And we are in an urgent time where God wants us to go now, do it now. Like, people are crying out for your gifts in your businesses and now. So I just count it an honor to be connected with Buki. Like, I ain't going nowhere. I will be a first 7-figure client. I'm gonna keep doing the first. I don't
Amen.
know. We're
The
gonna walk
first,
into
the first 4, the first 5, the first 6, the
Yes,
first 7. Come on now.
please.
I think like you've said everything that needs to be said, really, to be honest with you, because it's just about that alignment. And I'm humbled. I don't see it as it being anything to do with me. I did what you did.
I know you don't.
I
I
surrendered.
know.
I surrendered. And so he just needs vessels. So when vessels are ready to surrender, he will use those vessels. And so we are just vessels that are ready to be used by God. And he just uses us to make his name known, because I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, it's all about what I didn't. Now he will slap me up my side of my head. I'm like, no. It's just I'm doing my best to listen to him, submit to him, do it his way, and present it. And those that it's for. And those and testimonies like this will keep bursting open. I know for sure, because he's doing something now, really now. So ladies, I just hope this has encouraged you on your journey to see that, listen, it doesn't matter where you are today, in the space of 9 months, complete transformation of not just her life, her 5 kids, her husband, the whole family. Just God, like, abundance now is now. It's now. It's now. That's all I have to say. So, I don't know, any last words? You said everything, really, Tashana. Any last words before I close? Lisa, I see you there and just soaking it all up. You know, when you're coming in, ladies, to watch it later, just go and speak to God, right? And and see what he's saying, and just Tashana, yeah.
I ain't got nothing else because I'm gonna cry these lashes off.
Ladies, thank you so much for listening, and God bless you all. I'll see you later on. Listen, before I go, Tashana did every task. She
Yes.
did every task in the challenge. She didn't miss it. She won the main prize. So I'll say it again. She did every task. She was all in. Her heart was all in. Her posture was all in. She just found a way to be all in. And as she was all in, God has met her. Oh my gosh. Like, when I like, you speak, you feel like, I hope they can get it. Like, just be all in. When you are all in the right soil, on the right ground where it's fertile, you cannot fail. You cannot fail. It's just not possible to fail when you are doing it God's way. It's just not. It's just it. So, ladies, love you.
Can I just say this though?
Go for it. Go for it.
Believe it can be you too. Because I would be in these challenges and I'm like, that's crazy. I was always the person that was in the challenges and being like, I want that testimony, and would never get it. But then you have to believe that it can be you, and then you have to just accept the way that God wants to bless you, and just take all of your own ideas out and just completely surrender. It can be you. It will be you. Believe it. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Thank you. It will be you. Ladies, it will be you. God bless you. Take care. Thank you so much. All right. Bye-bye, guys. Take care.